Hi guys, this is another Kubernetes Lightning Lab video. So this is actually the Lightning Lab 1. Basically, this is on KodeKloud. So there are a couple of questions, about 5 questions that I'm going to be solving here. So I just want to show you how I solve them, and basically to have a documentation of the solution somewhere. So let's do it together, guys. So the first question is to create a persistent volume log volume with the following specification. Storage class name is manual, which is already created. Access mode is read write menu. Capacity is 1G, and host path is this one. Let me try to enlarge this view a bit more. So hope you can see it better. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a persistent volume. I'm going to say vi log or YAML. So I'm going to say API version. You can actually copy from uh, documentation, the Kubernetes documentation directly, and the kind is persistence or the metadata. Meta data is going to be the name is going to be log volume. And spec. So as you can see in the requirement, the access, the storage class name, storage, storage, it's going to be manual that has been created. You don't need to worry about that. The access mode is going to be read write, and the capacity is going to be write. Storage and the host parts is opt volume engines. So let's create the persistent volume first. So I'm going to save this one. And I'm going to say k by log. So I've got error here, access mode is unknown. So I think I made a mistake. Instead of common trace, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be like that. So let me try again. No, still in the chain error. So access mode is read access. Okay, I need one less access image. Let me try common trace. So that has been created. We get preview. So it's been created. Now let's go to the next stage. The next stage is to create a persistent volume claim named log claim. Request at least 200 megabytes of storage bind to the log volume created above. So let's create the PVC. So I'm just going to copy the file templates to the YAML. And I'm going to unlock the YAML, update this one to persistent volume claim. So this will be log claim. the storage class name is the same, the access mode is the same. Here, instead of capacity, I'm going to say sources because we want to request for certain resources. So it's a request. So we want to request for a, a 200 megabyte storage. And so here, instead of host paths, we need to bind this claim to log volume. So we say here, the volume name is log volume. We save this one, correct it. Page, you must say page, question type, list. Let me see. What's the issue? Okay, the issue is with this one. So there should be a space here. So let's type in. So persistent volume has been created. Persistent volume pin has been created here as well. As you can see, it's bound to log volume, which is this one. So now the next stage is to create a pod named logger that uses this image and is mounted to the log volume on these parts. So I'm going to create a pod template. I'm going to say I'm using K here because I've created a kube control alias as K. So instead of using kube control, I'm using K. So I'm saying K run logger. Logger is the name of the pod. And the element is going to be what is specified here is the engine's output. And what is you're just going to see the output is going to be in YAML format. I'm going to dry run its clients. I'm going to send the output to local YAML. I'm going to the point in local YAML. Going to something is wrong here. Created. Oh shit, that's been created. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to it's you know, points. So log out the points. So I'm going to specify the drawing on here by its clients. So if I view the logger file thing, you see it's much more simple, right? So okay, so what I need to specify is basically the volume, mount the volume. So first of all, I'm going to go here. So volume mount. So I'm going to move say the name of the volume is I'm going to just say so I'm going to say the mount, but it's going to be www and things. As you can see here, that should be enough. Then I'll go down here. I'll say specify the volume here. Volumes. The name of the volumes name is volume. It's going to be the same as the voice in the volume mouse here. So I'm going to say because we want to claim the volume that we create earlier using persistent volume. So I'll say persistent volume claim. I'm going to say the claim name is going to be Um, so that should be finished. I think I'll save this one. Try to create a report. I as um, log the thing that's port. That port is created or is dependent. Something similar. Okay, two logs. Um, three is like ports. So, uh, scheduler out of one was available. Persistent volume pay log volume not found. Let's see. Two gets EV. Oh yeah, that's why I realized my mistake now. So so the name of the claim name is actually log fail, not log volume. You only want to claim for the log volume using log. So I'll save this one and apply again. Okay, I'm going to delete this. It's important. Reset. Say replace force. Yeah. So let me describe it again. Okay, it seems to be working. Take that box. So it's running now. So I'll move on to the next task. So the next task is basically they have deployed a pod named secure pod, a service named secure service that targets the secure pod. Currently, both incoming and outgoing network connection to and from secure pod are failing. Your task is to troubleshoot and fix the issue so that incoming connection from the pod web app caller to secure pod are successful. So there's a, okay, let me get the pod again. So we've got two pods here. There's a secure pod and web app caller. And currently the incoming connection from web app caller to secure pod is not successful. So there's a connection through a service called secure service. I mean, so this secure service is supposed to communicate to the secure pod. So the ports for the secure service is 80, but that connection is currently not there. So basically, we can't communicate from web app caller to secure port at the moment. So now the requirements to not delete or recreate existing Kubernetes objects unless the instructions specifically asks you to. So all resources are located in the default namespace. The fix must be persistent. Your changes should remain valid and functional even after testing is repeated. So this sounds like you need to create a network policy. So these are okay. So review any network policy in the default namespace. Let's see if there's a network policy. So the short name for network policy is network. So there's a default deny network policy. So if I say K describe network policy, defaults, default deny. So currently, there's no port selector, right? And allowing ingress traffic. So there's no port selector that is allowing any ingress traffic. So basically, it looks like you need to create a network policy. So based on this, we need to update or create a rule to explicitly allow inbound traffic from web app caller port to the secure port over this TCP port 80. So that would be the TCP of these secure service. So now we need to create a network policy. I'm going to go to Kubernetes documentation and I'm going to look for network policy. Let's see. So this is network policy. We're going to copy this network policy and go back here and create a file called YAML. So the network policy I'll copy is going to serve as a template. So for now, I don't care what the name of the policy is. So I'm just going to edit this. So so what I want to do basically is allow basically bound this policy to the secure port and allow ingress, which is basically out side traffic, external traffic into the secure port. So I'm going to select the secure port here. Currently, there's no port selector that is bound to secure port. So I'm going to say KodeKloud port, and I'm going to see the labels of the port. So secure port has run equal to secure port. So I'll copy this one and I will replace it with this. And so I'm going to say run is instead of equal to this column secure port. And I don't care about egress now. I want to allow traffic from web app column into a secure port. So I'm going to use egress. So I don't care about IP block or namespace selector now. So I'm just going to get rid of this one. So what I need is a port selector. So I need to allow traffic from the web app column. So I'm going to go back and see the label of web app column. Web app column is using name equal to web app column. So I will copy that and paste this in, paste this in with it. So I'll just say name is colon web app column, right? So now they're saying that it should be on port 80. So we know that secure service is on port 80. So the connection, the egress should come from web app color on port 80. So for now, I don't care about egress. So I'm going to get rid of anything related to egress. So I think that should be enough. So I'm going to save this one. Try to rate it. Apply article. So the policy has been created. Okay, now what I'm going to do is try to test the connection from web app color into secure port. So to do that, I'm going to say K execute interactive. The port name is web color, and command I'm going to use netcat command nc. I'm going to say verbose. I'm going to ask it to not send any data. I'm going to say the timeout is going to be 5 seconds, and I'm going to specify the name of the service, which is secure service, and I'm going to say on port 8. Is it able to connect? Okay, it's working. So the connection is open, which is good. Now I'll move on to the next task. So the next task is to create a port name type check in this namespace. And this namespace already exists. Let me check. Create namespace. It's not there. Create namespace. This namespace. I paste it there. So that is created. Now, so we need to create that port using BusyBox image, right? So let me create a port template first. Okay, long time the name of the port, and the image is going to be BusyBox, BusyBox, and I'm going to say output is YAML. I'm going to use right because the client is direct the output to and check and check the YAML. Now that template is created. So let's see the requirements. So the first one is to create a config map named time config with this data in the same namespace. So to create a time config, it's a time a create uh, config map config map. The config map is time config, and it's going to be in that namespace. And I'm going to say from literal, I'm not creating it from a file, so I just want to literally provide uh, data of that time config. So here the key is time config and value is 3 to 10. And what else? And okay, that is it. Then we create it. Time config has been created. It gets big map. It gets big map. It's map. This namespace. Then it's done. So that is time config created. All right, next thing is basically the time check container must run command. Okay, now let's go to the code template. We are time config, time check the YAML. So let's update this template. So the second requirement is to have a command, container command, or a command that the container will run. So I'm going to say it's going to use clean sh, and it's going to use clean points. Let's see, I can see I'm going to just copy and paste this code or script and paste it there. And here it says directing the output to the file located at. So we need to direct the output to this directory, to this file. So to direct the output, we use Java code and paste it in a file there. So that part is done. Now we created a config map, right? So let's specify the data. So we create the config map is basically the environment variable. So the name of that variable is time flow. And the value basically the value is from the config map key reference ref. And that the name of that config map is time page, and the key is basically the time fields. Time fields. Okay, I think that is it. So the next requirement is to ensure the path opt type within the pod multi-volume that persists for the duration of the code lifecycle. Okay, now to mount the volume that persists for the duration of the code lifecycle, I'm going to specify the volume mount. I'm going to do here and say volume mount. And I'm going to say the name of the volume, say for example, let's say log 4. Let's say the mount part is going to be opt type. Now, I think that should be enough. The next thing is basically to specify the volumes. So the volumes is, so the name is going to be the same as what we specified of log 4. And we just need to make sure it's persists. for the duration of the pod life cycle. So it's the empty directory. It's nothing basically. I think that is it. So I'm going to create this pod. I'm going to simply apply find check the YAML. So that has been created. Take that. And I think let me see. Take that pod. Time check is creating the default container. So that's not what we want. What I'm going to do is specify the namespace. So here, I'm going to say the namespace is going to be what is here, this one. So that is where you need to create the port. So save it, write out files. So it's currently in this in the default containers and it's causing error, but I don't want to worry about that. Or I just delete it. But let me see again. That port namespace is really something. D. Okay, so time check is running in that port now, but let me try to describe it. Describe port time check. So there's no error so far, so I'm going to move on to the next stage. So the next stage is to create a new deployment called engines deploy with these specifications. So I'm going to create a deployment template by running create deploy engines deploy the name of the deployment, and the image is going to be equal to engines version 1.16, and the number of replicas is going to be 4, and we're going to say the output is YAML. We're going to try on price. We're going to directly output engines deploy. YAML. I'm going to say VI deploy any things for the value. Now let me update this. So part of the requirements to specify the rolling update strategy. And so the strategy type is going to be rolling updates. So here I'll specify rolling updates. And I'm going to specify the maximum storage. That means the number of code that can be updated each time. So maximum unavailable port, unavailable succeed. So what else? I think that is it. I'm going to say this. I'm going to deploy AI and then to deploy YAML. So that can get deployed. Can get deployed. So that deployment has created, you can create a KKAD port. All of them are running. Okay, now the next requirement is to upgrade the deployment to version 1.17. Basically, we just need to upgrade the image from version 1.16 to version 1.17. So what I'll do is I'll say preset image. And the image is going to be from the deployment called engines deploy. And the container, basically, if you check earlier, the container name is engines, right? And it got to now, well, instead of engine 1.16, it's engines 1.17. And I think that should be it. Let me run that. So that has been updated. Let me say that port again. See, it's creating a container or updating them one by one. So all of them are updated. Now, once all the ports are updated, we'll do the update and roll back to the previous version. Now to roll back, you say roll out. You need to say undo the deployment. Deployment is engines deploy. So enter that. So say created port. So you can see it's terminating, rolling back. It's say completed, and now running. So all of them are bad. Now that is completed. So let's go to the next final task. So the final task is to create a Redis deployment in the default namespace with this specification. So I'm going to create a template for a deployment template. So I'm going to create deploy Redis is the name of the deployment. And the image is going to be Redis open. Redis open. The replicas is going to be just one replicas. I'm going to say the output is the YAML format. I'm going to try only this and try out the virtual client and send the output to this YAML file. And vi where is the YAML. And so now I don't need to specify the strategy here because we are not asked to specify the strategy. But in the code template, you've been asked to specify the resources. So I'm going to go here and say resources. Okay. So the resources request is CPU is going to be 0.2 and the memory is going to be 200 megabytes. What else? We've been also asked to specify the container ports. So I'm going to go here and say ports. The port protocol I'm going to create is TCP. And I'm going to say container ports is 0637 as requested. So that is done. Now regarding the volume, here they say an empty volume, empty directory volume named data is mounted on this part. So I'm just going to so I need to go to, let me see, from resources, let me click here. I'm going to say volume mount. And the name is going to be, the name of the volume is going to be data as tested. And the mount part is going to be, Redis master data. Redis master data. And the second one is, so they say config map volume named Redis config mapped as Redis master. The config map has already been created. You don't need to create your thing. So that is good. So the next thing is let's say we need to mount another volume called Redis config. And the mount part is at Redis master. Now that we specify the volume mount, let's go and specify the volumes. So if I go here and go here, so within the spec, I need to specify the volumes. Let me see. Within the spec, okay. So now the first volume is named data. Name is data, and it is empty directory. It's nothing. So the second one is basically it's named Redis configuration. And it's basically a configuration map. So the name is going to be this configuration. So I think that is it. I'm going to set this and try to see if I can put this deployment. So I apply this YAML. So that is created and to take it port. So Redis is running and let me describe it. And let's describe command. Okay, describe port Redis transfer. So everything seems to be okay. All right, so that is done. And I'm going to end the exam. Let's check this call. So first one passed, second one passed, third one passed, fourth one passed, fifth one passed. Right, that is it, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and leave a comment. Have a lovely day and goodbye.